Okay, so I have done it. I have pushed myself more than I have ever before for the sake of my viewers. Do you know how many people watch my vids?
There are hundreds. Literally hundreds.
I have seen every horror movie that has come out by the time of this review. So, in case any of you were wondering, that's 33 horror movies. And I gotta admit, after watching the 5th dumpster fire in a row, I was starting to feel a little bit like Leslie Knope.
I made a mistake.
And now, I'm gonna tie you all up, bring you down a few feet into the dirt. 7, to be exact, and force y'all to witness the same atrocities that I have endured for you. A kinder soul would have kept the worst from you. Well, if only I had an ounce of benevolence in me. Behold, the worst horror movies of 2024, Part 1. Oh yeah, bitches, there's gonna be a part 2 at the end of the year. Prepare yourselves, for I shan't hold back. I will force these atrocious films down whatever hole is available to me. Let's get creatively spooky with spoilers! Skeletons in the Closet.
Father, I'm so scared. I must be cursed.
Even though you pray, life still takes its course.
Skeletons in the Closet is a special one because it stars some very familiar has-been actors. You got Terrence Howard, Cuba Gooding Jr., Udo Kier, Valerie Ortiz. I am sure with the star power of these actors these days, they were paid dozens of dollars to do this flick. So it's about a dad who makes the worst decisions at the worst times, like the classic "I'ma demand that promotion at work today," only to get fired. And instead of tightening his belt, he goes and makes a major purchase, a dog for his daughter, which was supposed to be the special surprise after getting the promotion, but fuck it. Let's just keep spending money. Oh, and the mom has a random backstory that comes out of nowhere while their daughter is terminally sick. You'd think she would take the main focus of the film, but I think there's actually more time or just as much time spent on the dad and his shit. The dad goes and makes a deal with the dangerous gangster after his recently released convict brother, Cuba Gooding Jr., suggests him as a last-ditch effort for some cash. Oh, and in order to deal with the mom's ghost, should they go see a medium to deal with it? And if it sounds like I'm being all over the place, yeah, so is this movie. The scares are terrible. Some of the ghosts have a connection to what's going on, but then you get a random fucking scarecrow monster that comes out of nowhere. I think I remember there being a lot of shitty looking fire, and I started the list off with this one for a very good reason. This movie is so bad that it's kinda good. It doesn't start off as a so bad it's good, but it'll get you there. So I have a feeling that if you go into this movie expecting a so bad it's good experience, you'll have a good time. But rest assured, this movie is... Night Swim. I would be surprised if any of you need any explanation for this one. This movie was actually pretty talked about because it was the first shit horror movie of the year. Everybody was dumping on it. From the lean, mean, protein-filled clumps of Charlie at Penguin Z0.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
To the maple-glazed turd logs from Ryan George at pitch meetings.
So what if a pool was haunted? Well, I would simply not swim in it. Don't say that. That undoes the whole premise.
Oh, my bad.
Love him. Yeah, the movie is based off of a short, and it's not a very good one. Kind of begs the question of why anyone greenlit this film. This is like someone saw what happened with Lights Out and wanted to do the same, but they didn't want to do a movie based off of a good horror short, cause that would be too hard and expensive. Get fucked, you lazy cucks. It's a very unscary haunted pool movie. It baits you in the beginning with the death of a young girl, and that's honestly the movie's peak. Then we get a story of an injured pro baseball dad and family moving into the new place. They start using the pool and he gets healthy, but the pool starts to possess him and make him sacrifice someone in order to feed the pool and keep his health. The movie has a lot of unscary scares, some very bad CGI monsters, and the cherry on top is a lot of cliches. Your story is only as good as your villain. is a phrase that the writers of this movie never heard of. The pool isn't very scary because it gets cleaned right away when the family moves in, so you can always see the bottom, so the only options to scare a person are having the underwater lights go out or some POV shots of someone coming in and out of the pool with water in their eyes. Yeah, not too many good options for scares. Also, all of the monsters are random assholes that have no connection to the family that currently lives at the house or the previous family that was there. Random seaweed covered person, random fat guy, random shadowy figure. There's nothing of value here. History of evil.
We have breaking news at the top of the hour. Political terrorist Alegre Dyer Rodriguez has escaped from Evan Detention Center in Louisiana.
Y'all wanna guess what the history of evil is? Racism. That's it. So this movie is about a future divided America. They try to be vague about it, but it's whites versus any other race. The moment a government military person sees any other ethnicity, the white person next to them has to say, "Don't worry, they are a convert." And this small family along with a friend go into hiding in an old KKK owner's home where his ghost still resides.
Whippy!
This is red box level quality on every aspect of this film. The acting, even though it has every girl's dream boat from Vampire Diaries.
What kind of name is Honoria Fell?
Shh, you're kind of the one that killed her.
Oh.
The acting is pretty low level shit. This small mixed racial family is hiding out because the wife is some super special leader or speaker for the opposite side of the current governing body. Would have been nice if we had an example of why she's so inspirational or why people follow her or anything. I'm getting similar vibes from the little girl in the Children of the Corn and the new leader of the resistance in the latest Terminator movie. She's just in charge, just because. We are never given a single scene why or how they earned their position in the movie. This movie's villain also sucks. Just a cliche racist guy who used to be a KKK member and that's it. We barely see him and he barely does or says anything and yet is able to turn the dad on his whole family. A couple random soldiers show up at the house and they get killed off screen by random ghosts.
Whippy!
Yeah, thanks for not showing us that. You'd think the racist ghost would go after the black friend that's at the house and not just the racist soldiers. I don't fucking know anymore. And then the dad overcomes his kind of possession and swallows a bullet. Oh no, I'm really gonna miss that guy. Yeah, don't be fooled by the Dreamboat lead actor. This movie is weak shit. Imaginary.
How does it feel being back?
Good. I had such good memories here. Maybe my happy place can be our happy place?
Imaginary was another movie that was making the rounds and everyone was shitting on it because it was Blumhouse's second movie of the year and it was terrible. Imaginary is about imaginary friends. Yeah, super creative stuff here, guys. So a family is moving back into the new stepmom's childhood home and that awakens the mom's long-lost imaginary friend. Apparently there is much more to learn about imaginary friends and their world that goes much deeper than anyone has ever realized. You want to guess who the person is that unloads all this deep lore onto us? The old bag who did the same thing in Split.
What does that mean? I don't understand.
What the fuck is happening? We have this actress being typecasted here and then there's that other one in TCM 2020, Tarot, and The Watchers.
My heart is getting stronger every day. Oh, you ancient bitch.
Don't worry, we'll get to her later. So in Imaginary, you have the classic older daughter having a hard time adjusting to the new mom, the dad character played by the Jesus guy in The Walking Dead. Yeah, never liked that character. And I am not exaggerating here. He could have been written out completely from this movie and it would have made zero difference to the film. So the mom when she was a kid almost got sucked into the imaginary world and her dad pulled her out. But that made him crazy. Now that they have moved back into the old house, the younger daughter gets pulled into the imaginary world. The old bag neighbor helps the stepmom and daughter get into the world only to close the door behind them so she can live there for forever and explore the vastness of it all, only to get eaten 5 seconds later.
What? what a stupid bitch!
The family makes it out and the movie has a very happy ending for everyone. I think Film Comics Explained said it best. This is a story about the physical manifestations of a child's creativity, and the movie isn't very creative. There's a giant monster teddy bear that's based off of the imaginary teddy bear in the real world. Okay, that one's obvious. Then you get a random tall gray guy who is not very scary, and that's it. Oh, and the imagination world is the famous relativity picture with all the staircases going all over the place. That's all this movie has to offer in the sense of creativity. It's not scary because the only person that dies is the hag that turned out to be a bad guy.
Who cares?
And then the dad comes back to a burned down home and the movie ends. Holy fuck, that is skippable. I can only think of fewer disses worse than this. If you want to watch a scary movie about imaginary friends, go watch Don't Look Under the Bed, the Disney Channel movie.
But it's not too late for me to nail you.
That came out in 1999, and that's better than this garbage by Blumhouse that came out in 2024. Sunrise.
You don't believe in the red coat, son?
It's a story made up to scare kids.
Yeah, I would be surprised if anyone has actually heard of this straight-to-Tubi movie. Which is kind of surprising, because it does have Guy Pearce in it. Everyone loved Memento.
Oh, I'm chasing this guy. No, he's chasing me.
And it's got Alex Pettyfer, the guy from I Am Number 4. Kind of a cheesy movie, but I would have been down for a sequel. And I said I was gonna bring her up later. This movie also has Olin Forrer in it. The useless old leathery chair from TCM 2020, The Watchers, and Tarot.
My heart is getting stronger every day. Oh, you ancient bitch.
Sunrise is a low-key vampire movie. Not much happens in it. A small Asian family moves into a house that is on some very valuable land, and the classic racist gangster runs the town around it. I guess he is a farmer too, but we don't really know what his main business is or why he wants their land. We get to know him better and he starts to get more character, but there's this lore about the red coat. It's a vampire. Odd choice of a name for a vampire legend, but whatever. And after the dad is murdered by Guy Pearce, a mysterious stranger shows up at the house and he's a vampire. Though all he does is drink blood, we never see any other vampire aspect about him. Turns out he was the original owner of the house and his wife was killed because she wasn't white and he was left for dead. Redcoat came along and turned him and now he's back for revenge. The movie would have been better if our vampire hero was actually killing people one by one for his revenge, but actually Guy Pearce does most of the killing and the rest of the people get taken out by other people, sometimes by accident. The movie is a decent attempt at a low-budget vampire movie, but the storyboarding is the problem here. We don't really know the vamp's backstory, and even when we do, we don't really care. The movie looks pretty well done aesthetic-wise, but it's just racist people doing racist things for the sake of racism. The old crone is the one who really believes in the red coat, but she gets killed off pretty mercifully, don't know why, but she of course doesn't really add anything to the story except gives Guy Pearce an opportunity to mourn her death, which was probably the highlight of the whole film, because it was actually really well written. Another Tubi film that doesn't really deserve your money. That's the best way to sum this up. I saw the TV glow.
Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called
The Big O Big?
Fuck this movie. You know I work hard on these reviews. I may not always get a vid out weekly, but damn it, when I do, I put in the work. You want to know what I did for this one? I found out that this is technically a sequel to We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Hey guys, Casey here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking the World's Fair Challenge.
Want to know what connects the two? Not a single damn thing. We're All Going to World's Fair is about a girl in the early stages of YouTube flexing her creativity online. She's dealing with depression and is thinking about pressing Control-Alt-Delete on her life. Oh, and there's this internet challenge called We're All Going to the World's Fair that's essentially a blood ritual that does Who the fuck knows? We see several different people experiencing different things after they do the ritual. A few could be faked, but one guy is getting sucked into his computer. That really happened. Don't have a fucking clue what happened to him after that, but it happened. And the movie ends with the girl not going through with it and this weird guy online befriending her, and they eventually meet up in person and it's just as awkward as you'd expect, and the movie ends.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't mind movies having a deep message about personal trauma, but this movie is so boring. Barely anything happened, there were 2 creepy moments, not a scary movie. That movie has the same problems as I Saw the TV Glow. Only I Saw the TV Glow is actually more boring. I Saw the TV Glow is kinda similar to the first season of Channel Zero, the mysterious TV show that has deeper meaning. The show in I Saw the TV Glow is called The Pink Opaque. It's a late night show with similar quality of like Goosebumps. It's super low budget, practical effects monsters that aren't really fooling anybody. The main characters are obsessed with the show. The problem is that we barely get to see it. I can recall 2 moments in this movie that were scary and they were connected to the show. The possible twist at the end is the show is based on the 2 main characters' real lives and they have to wake up out of their reality or some bullshit. Yes, I am aware that the movie is an allegory for being transgender.
I don't give a fuck.
I really don't. I don't give a fuck about your message. Here's why. Your movie is boring as shit. The movie does time jumps in the best way to disconnect you from the story. The main guy will look at the camera, tell you either what just happened or what is going to happen or what has happened in the last several years. And this guy starts off as an awkward loner kid with some social problems, but we don't see him actually grow through certain moments in his life. We just get fucking time jumps years into the future. It's totally fine if you want a meaningful story to be made as a film, but if you haven't cracked the code on how to be entertaining, start over. If you don't, you're in the wrong medium. Oh, and don't fret, my friends, there's gonna be a 3rd movie. Maybe it'll tie all the movies together. Like I care, but if it's considered a horror movie, I'm sure I'll get suckered into it like I did this. I even remember doing a review on a shit movie and said, go watch this instead.
I was wrong! I was wrong! I was wrong!
I truly don't understand the review ratings for this movie. IMDb, 6.6 out of 10. That's actually not bad. Way too high for this flick. Rotten Tomatoes critics is 84% and the audience's is 70%. Good fucking lord, those are good numbers. Way too high. Metacritic, 84%, way too high. At least Google is a little bit more honest, 2.9 out of 5. There's just slightly more 1-star reviews than 5-star reviews, which, yeah, I think is a more honest reflection of this. If you hate it, welcome to the club. If you love it, we probably don't have anything in common. Tarot. Tarot is a horror movie with a premise focused on tarot cards. I already did a full breakdown of this entire movie, practically scene by scene. Feel free to watch that after this. So, since I already did the long here, I'll make this one quick. Tarot had a pretty interesting setup with the creature design done by a guy who had some pretty good work that you can check out online. The problem is that it's PG-13, so the kills can only get as good as PG-13 can get. It has a large enough cast so the kill count could be decent, except they make it so 3 characters live at the end.
Imbecile!
The movie had a very easy Final Destination setup because at the beginning everyone's getting their readings done by haunted cards and they all come true. Problem is that no one harkens back to those readings even though I think they actually did record them. Nobody tries to plan ahead and survive their individual monsters. No one learns anything, no one grows, plenty of retarded reasonings happen at the worst timing. Like 2 friends die within 24 hours and there's a dumb bastard in the group and he's still thinking that nothing that weird is going on. Then 3 friends have been killed, and 1 guy fucks off thinking that he can, quote, wait this out.
What a stupid bitch!
Oh, and let's not forget, we have our old crone here to provide a lot of backstory and absolutely 0 help, even though she's considered the expert here.
My heart is getting stronger every day.
Oh, you ancient
bitch!
And last but not least, a fake-out ending that kills all of the tension of the whole movie. The funny guy survived because his roommate just showed up at the end, and it was enough to scare the monster away that was about to kill him. I have heard this is very loosely based off of a young adult novel, but according to the people who have read the book, the movie is different enough to be its own thing, so if you're planning on reading the book, don't worry. It's much better than the movie because it's very different from the movie. The Strangers, Chapter 1.
Is Tamara here?
No.
I think you have the wrong home.
The Strangers Chapter 1 is the first of a planned trilogy. It was originally advertised as a prequel, and the director even said that he didn't want to do a remake because he didn't think there was a point.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Shout out to Penguin Z0 for that little joke, cause yeah, this is the same fucking movie as the original Strangers. I already did a full breakdown of the whole movie in another video. Feel free to watch that after you check out my video on tarot. And while you're at it, watch every video of 7 Feet Under, even the ones I uploaded years ago that are dog shit. Never stop. You will watch, and before you know it, you'll be digging a hole 3 feet deep, and then 4, 5, 6. And once you start feeling a bony hand grab your feet, you'll know you're in the right place.
Yikes.
For everyone else, I'll make this quick as well. This is the same movie as the original Strangers. Some of the scenes are exactly the same. If you have seen the original and still want to see this movie, just keep this clip in mind.
Same, but different. But still same.
Oh, and it's a bit worse. The stalking is worse, the dialogue is worse, the situations are pretty bullshit, plenty of gun cliches, and the deaths are worse. There is literally no aspect of this movie that is better than the original, unless you find redheads hotter than black-haired chicks. Lovely, Dark, and Deep.
Leave nothing but footprints. Kill nothing but time.
Lovely, Dark, and Deep is a movie that kept getting its release date pushed back to the point where I forgot I was even anticipating the release of it. It stars the chick from Barbarian, which is good, however for a movie that's called Lovely, Dark, and Deep, it's not lovely, it's not dark, and it's not that deep.
That's not a good start, but keep going.
It's about a chick applying to be a park ranger. The real reason why she applied for the job is that when she was younger, her little sister went missing in the same woods and her body was never found. It takes a long time for the movie to give us this information, so I never really cared when we got that reveal. During her shift, someone goes missing and everyone fans out looking. She disobeys direct orders and ends up finding the person. Even though she found the person, she still gets fired, and she's gonna be helicoptered out in a few days. She is ordered to stay at her cabin, but is all like, fuck that noise, and goes out for one last search for her obviously dead sister. We then come to find out that the forest took her. It's some kind of entity that does something with people every once in a while? I don't really know. The forest gives her a choice. She can either take another life or give them hers. Her boss comes in to rescue her because she was in on it, letting the forest take people every once in a while, so she sacrifices herself so our girl can live. The movie ends with our girl being saved and keeping her job, then she randomly finds a hiker that's about to be taken and she lets him get taken, then everyone goes through the motions of a phony ass search party?
What? Oh, come on!
I'm sorry, why aren't we burning the forest down? Yeah, it's pretty and everything, but is it really that worth it? I rarely call upon the Winchesters for help, but we should get them or Bobby to at least look up the lore here to find out what this is, why it does what it does, and what does it do with the people. This is on Tubi for a good reason. It's not worth anyone's dime. It's slow as shit, it's not deep, it's not scary, and very little work is done writing-wise. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
It's time to decide.
Ah, of course you knew this would make the list. Everyone has said the same things about this movie, and I'm about to say the same stuff as well, though with my charming ass personality behind it. So this movie essentially retcons the first movie. Here's how. The first movie is a movie of Christopher Robin's time in the 100-acre woods after he comes back after disappearing for several years. So everything we have seen so far is a movie within a movie's universe. We don't know exactly exactly what happened. What we think we know is a dramatized version of what happened.
Oh, very clever.
Yeah, nice try, movie. You still ain't getting a pass. That movie was dog shit, and this one may have a better production value, but it's still shit. So the movie takes place after Christopher Robin survived the first movie, got his life kinda back in order, and is trying to work as a doctor. Meanwhile, Pooh, Piglet, Al, and Tigger are randomly killing every character in this movie. The movie attempts to have a story by saying the reason Christopher Robin knows the animals is because he was looking for his missing brother who got kidnapped. He sees a therapist to unlock his memory, and he remembers the nabber who just so happens to be the janitor at his hospital. Wow, that was lucky. So he follows him and the guy tells him everything. He kidnapped a bunch of kids because a mad scientist paid him. He didn't really know what he was gonna do with them. And a bunch of gene slicing experiments happened on them, and that turned the kids into hybrid monsters with superpowers.
What?
Oh, come on! I'm sorry, this is not an improvement. In the first movie, they say the monsters are half-breeds, and you're telling me that after the studio, writers, and director got more money, they were like, nah, let's do the classic mad scientist story with the sequel and ditch the half-breed idea.
Hey, assholes!
Mad scientist story is not better than making a canon that somebody fucked a bear, a pig, an owl, a tiger, a donkey, a kangaroo, twice, and whatever other characters there are in Winnie the Pooh. The janitor says he killed the scientist and then he turns the gun on himself, stealing Christopher Robin's revenge idea.
What a dick.
Anyways, Owl is kind of the leader because he can speak the best, I guess, and is planning on waging a war against mankind. Okay, sure. And it does cost Piglet getting his head blown off, so he's out. So the movie covers Owl, Tigger, and Pooh killing people. We get introduced to several characters like once, maybe twice, and then randomly throughout the film they get killed by the monsters. The problem here is that the writers didn't follow Trey and Matt's writing advice.
We can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you're f***ed.
This movie is all and thens. There is no reasoning behind it. None of the monsters should know where these characters are. They just do, and then they only go out and attack characters that we've met. The only exception is the mobile home that just introduces us to the movie, so I don't really think that counts. Some random guys in the beginning looking for the monsters in the woods, and then the police who go in looking for those guys who went looking for the monsters in the woods. Pooh attacks Christopher's house and kills his parents, but the babysitter girlfriend and the younger sister get away. And then a random character we met once gets killed. And then an entire warehouse of people get killed by Pooh, solely because we met one person who was hosting the party. And then Tigger comes in and kills the other half.
No ending! No ending! No ending!
No ending!
The movie ends with Christopher Robin finding out that his brother is actually Pooh after the gene splicing. I'm still bitter about that idea change. But he's too far gone, so Christopher Robin splits Pooh's head into like a piece of lumber. The movie ends with the owl saying, "This is not the end." And it shows Piglet's head slowly starting to grow back.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
This is not just gene splicing. Healing an actual head, brain, and all after being blown off completely is a godlike power. How can you possibly stop that? Whatever. So that's all of them, ladies and gents. The worst horror movies of 2024, part 1. I know a lot of these were predictable, but hopefully I was able to steer you away if any of you were considering watching these wastes of space. Thank you all for watching till the end. We're getting close to monetization. We just need my watch hours to go up. So please, feel free to give a like, a sub, and click to watch one of my other vids. It'll be spooky.